Welcome into Sports Betting Podcast, NFL, every game on the board with our first guest up, Minty Bets. Minty, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. What's up, Drew? How are you?
I'm doing good. And it's special shout out to you, Minty. It is before 7 a.m. on the West Coast on Friday, correct?
Yes, I had to get a bunch of lamps to light myself up. As you can see, the background's kind of like warm. Yeah, the sun's not up yet here in Vegas.
Hey, sun's not up yet, but it's not too early to find winners, right, Minty? It's week 17. Can be an advantage for the sports bettors. Tennessee and Houston, first game up here. And, of course, no bye weeks, week 17. It is a full Sunday slate. So a lot of angles here for sports bettors, but an afternoon kick here. Tennessee at Houston, 101-102 if you're following along at home. This is the first half. Then we'll bring Teddy Covers in to break down the second half of games on Sunday slate, December 29th. We got 3.5. That's what Tennessee is favored by on the road. 3 in the hook here, Minty. 45.5 the total. Tennessee, Houston, what are you thinking?
So first of all, before I get into this game, I tend to stay away from the last week of NFL because, in my opinion, the two most difficult NFL games to handicap would be the very first week because we don't know what to expect from these overly hyped teams, and the very last week because a lot of starters are being benched once playoffs are clinched and seeds are secure, etc. This one's kind of hard for me because, of course, mid-season I would be like Houston for sure, but Houston needs to win against Tennessee, and Kansas City needs to lose to the Chargers in order for them to secure the number 3 seed. I'm not betting this game, like I said, because it seems like as much as I hear that starters are playing, I also think that they might bench them mid-game. So I don't know. I like the Titans here, but I don't like 3 in the hook because that's a number I get screwed on all the time. I like the Titans. Again, I don't have a lot of opinion on this game. Of course, Texans should play to win, but who knows? They might not. And Texans, they come up short a lot too. So I really don't trust him and Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, and Minty, you bring up, 3 in the hook not being a good number for you. And of course, it is the NFL. And as we know, the number falls on 3 more than any other number out there over a multiple year sample size here. So if you are laying the 3 in the hook with Tennessee, watch out with that. And then, of course, on the other side, it could be advantageous to be buying on Houston plus 3 in the hook for that exact reason. So we got 103-104 up next, Minty. Cleveland at Cincinnati. It looks like the Browns and Baker Mayfield and company, 2.5 with some juice. Not any 3. Cantor's showing a 3. Even money in Las Vegas, where you are in Las Vegas before the sun even comes up. I'm actually doing this from Florida, visiting
from sunny Florida. Must be awful.
well, as our Florida watchers would know, it's actually been pretty rainy, at least in South Florida. So maybe something to keep in mind for the Orange Bowl, which is coming up for the Miami Dolphins are in New England, so not so sure how much that will matter. But we'll talk about that game later on in the podcast. But Minty, back to it. Cleveland, Cincinnati, 43.5 the total. Looks like the Browns minus 2.5 plus some juice on the road.
Holy crap, 43.5. Okay, sorry, I didn't update my numbers. I had 45 from yesterday. So
yeah, it just got juiced down. So wow. Big bets on the under.
Interesting. Yeah, this is kind of unrelated, but I had the Arizona Cardinals season win total as over 5.5. And before the NFL season started, I already mentally wrote off that ticket as a loss in like week 10 or whatever because they just looked awful. The Cardinals beat the Browns and they beat the Seahawks straight up. So I just need one more win for the Cardinals against the Rams and I can cash this in. But I just brought it up because they beat the Browns, which actually kind of was surprising. Okay. Plain and simple, I like the Browns minus 2.5, you said here. That's a comfortable number for me with this team. I think Cleveland's ground game is going to be pretty unstoppable against the Bengals' run defense. And I think the Browns win by at least a touchdown here.
Okay. And Minty, you bring up Arizona against the Rams. That is in the second half. Teddy will be breaking that down. There's not really a lineup here, and I believe due to injury at the quarterback position. How are you feeling in that Arizona? If your whole ticket's riding on that, are you looking to hedge out? Or no, just gonna kind of ride this out?
I'm probably not gonna hedge it. I'm not one to hedge bets, but I hope I get it. But It's no big deal. Like I said, I already mentally wrote that off. I won my Browns under 9.5 ticket. So that was cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a big hedge out person either. As more people talk about sports betting, it's kind of become like an into topic. Like, oh, hedge out of this. I think people forget it costs money to do that. Each time
Yeah.
you,
Yeah,
so.
essentially, like, yeah, you'll win a little bit more, but you lose money too. I don't like to hedge bets, and I've always recommended against that too. I'm
Mhm.
like, if I lose, I just lose.
Exactly. I'm in the boat with you. We got 105, 106 up next. Chicago at Minnesota. This one a competitively priced game here, Minty. Seeing pick'em or -1. That's the Vikings laying the one at home, or pick'em at some shops. Low total here, Minty. 37 or 36.5 being the total.
Yeah, both these teams coming off a loss. Excuse me. I don't really love either side here, but the Bears and the Vikings have very similar stats defensively when it comes to scoring allowed, rushing yards allowed, and passing yards allowed. Because of that, I do like the under. This matchup has hit the under 3 out of the 4 times they've played in December. So I might play the under.
Okay, like in the under and in December. In Minnesota, I guess what a controlled atmosphere there, but there might be something to that. Late season unders, 36.5. The market's pushing it towards the under Minty.
Yeah.
4-point move from the opener, 41.5. And now we're seeing some shops as low as 36.5. So good stuff there, Minty. We got Indianapolis at Jacksonville up next. 107, 108, an afternoon kick here in Jacksonville. 4 is the number pretty much across the board as we're talking early on Friday morning. That's the Colts laying in Jacksonville. 42.5 the total here, Minty.
I have been wrong about the Jaguars a lot this season. When I bet on them, they lose. When I bet against them, they win. It seems as though the Colts have struggled against the Jaguars their last 4 meetings in Jacksonville, going 0-4 against the spread. The Jaguars haven't been so hot in scoring lately, I should say, averaging about 12 points per game their last 7 games. And then the Colts have been pretty inconsistent. I'm kind of leaning the under again, but I'm not going to bet this game again. I just kind of like the under. That's it.
Yeah, sure, Minty. We don't need to be telling people to be betting on every game. Let's just.
Yeah,
that's usually not a recipe for success over the long term. But
yeah. I thought I should make it clear since this week is like weird.
Oh, absolutely. Week 17 can be tough. We got Atlanta, Tampa Bay, NFC South matchup here. 47.5 the total. Seeing -1 or pick 'em anywhere in between. -1.5 actually showing up as well. That's the Bucks laying in Raymond James, Minty.
Right. I like the Bucks in this game. I think Jameis Winston will finish the season off strong. He's only 100 yards away from 5,000 passing yards, and they do need to win so they don't finish the season off with a losing record. Even though Jameis is missing Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, like I mentioned last week, they didn't look terrible last week. Tampa Bay is 6-4 against the spread versus Atlanta, and the over has hit 6 out of the 7 games in this matchup. Of course, I like the over as well for this Bucks game.
Okay, yeah, Atlanta, Tampa Bay looking towards the over, and the low water mark is 47.5. There are some 48s out there as well. We got 2 games left. Guys, remember the coupon code. We got a special coupon code for this podcast. It's Minty15. That's MINTY 15 at checkout, and it will take $15 off anything site-wide. So you can get a daily pick from the handicapper of your choice. You can take $15 off a season package, a 1-year all-access package, whatever you would like. $15 off, sportsmemo.com, using the coupon code MINTY15 at checkout, and you can use it unlimited times for any pick you would like. We got Washington at Dallas up next, Minty. Rotation number 111-112. Washington at Dallas, 46 the total. Cowboys, 10.5 in Jerry's world. This is an interesting one, Minty. I don't know. I kind of like Washington here. I think they're still fighting on the season and they're catching doubles.
Yeah.
I like the Redskins. How are you feeling?
I agree with you. Haskins is out for the Redskins, and so we can assume Case Keenum is going to start for Washington this weekend. If that's the case, then I would take the points with the Redskins. Dallas has dominated against their NFC East opponents, but I don't expect an upset here, and I don't expect a blowout either, since Dak has been playing with through like a shoulder injury. Although this is a must-win game for them, they're just a disappointing team. And I'm not going to say this because I don't like the Cowboys. I think the Redskins have a chance to cover here. So I do like the Redskins with you, Drew.
Okay. And what are your thoughts on Dak Prescott going forward with the Cowboys? Do you think they should hold on to him and pay him kind of what he's looking for, or do you think they should, start looking in a different direction?
Well, hopefully they fire Jason Garrett. But I think, gosh, I don't know. I like Dak with the Cowboys. I think they should keep him. But I don't doubt that maybe they'll draft a quarterback if they get the chance.
Okay, so maybe kind of the best of both worlds. See if he does well next year, and
Keep him and
also
train
have.
the new guy and then just throw him to the side like they did Romo, something like that. I
Ooh,
don't
okay.
know.
Yeah, I can see that happening. And guys, we got one game left, a game that I know Minty will know, may possibly have a bet on her favorite team, the New Orleans Saints, in the other NFC South matchup here at the Carolina Panthers, laying near 2 touchdowns here, Minty. Kind of pricey number. New Orleans Saints minus 13 on the road, 45.5 the total here, Minty.
Yes, so 45 and a half. Holy crap, these lines have moved. I had 47 and a half yesterday. I, of course, tend to stay away from double-digit spreads, although I don't doubt Drew Brees and the Saints can cover it easily. Carolina's run defense ranks 31st in the league, which would make it no problem for Kamara and Latavius Murray to float right through. Also, we didn't see anything impressive from Will Grier starting for the Panthers last week. I certainly like the Saints, but seeing the line open for Saints minus 11, and then it even moved to like minus 10 and a half at one point at the Westgate, and now it's up to 13. I don't feel comfortable betting it. So I'm not going to be betting it, unfortunately, but I'm going to be rooting for them because home field advantage is still up for grabs here.
Okay. All right. Good stuff, Minty. And how are you feeling about the Saints and the playoff potential run that they could have?
I don't want to get my hopes up.
Mhm.
Like I said before, of course I want them to make it to the Super Bowl and win it all, but I just don't see that happening. There's some like fierce competition, so of course, as it is every year, but I can't trust them. So I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
Okay. All right. Good stuff, Minty. Follow her on Twitter at Minty Bets. And guys, the coupon code for the podcast, Minty15, MINTY15 at checkout, sportsmemo.com. Anything site-wide, $15 off. That's a daily pick. That's a season-long package. Anything you would like, $15 off using the coupon code Minty15 at checkout. You can use it unlimited times until New Year's Eve at 12 o'clock. We'll keep that active. So Minty15 is the coupon code. Minty, you got a busy day doing some proxy and all that kind of stuff around Vegas. Anything else you want to throw out there for the watchers?
No, happy New Year's, guys. Thanks for listening, and I hope we're still on your list of podcasts to listen to next year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, subscribe. It's on YouTube. We simulcast it there, the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Plus, wherever you're downloading your podcast, it will be there. And sportsmemo.com, usually the first place you can listen to it in podcast form. So, Minty, thank you for waking up early on this Friday. Happy Friday to you. Enjoy the weekend. Best of luck with your bets. And, guys, best of luck with your bets. We'll be right back with Teddy Covers breaking down the second half of NFL Every Game on the Board.